Greetings YouTube, I got the V11 here and we're going to do my usual room clean because this is the test bed that we test all of our vacuums, and I've got an empty bin here, so I did empty this prior. We're going to see what it picks up. Alright, well, if you may have noticed, I had to switch hands while I was using this because this got tiring, and I know I'm going to get called weak or out of shape or something, but this thing really is kind of heavy to push. I'd say it's actually more effort to push this than it is to push even like a classic Kirby or something like that. So we did get some pet hair up and some fine dust. Well, I think one of the best-selling features for the V11 is its ability to clean stairs. And yeah, you could clean stairs like this, but this nozzle has a little bit too much articulation to do that. So, you're probably going to end up doing this. And this allows you to clean stairs with this little guy. It's kind of unwieldy like that. So, I think you're going to end up connecting it to this. And now we have something that's kind of big, and you definitely have to hold it with two hands while you're cleaning your stairs. The stairs nicely, and it does what's advertised. And if you need to take this out to clean it, there's like a little screw here, it just pops right out. So that's something Dyson definitely got right with the V11. So one of the main reasons you'd buy a Dyson V11 would be to use its accessories, particularly for dusting in high places. Now there's no telescoping wand, there's no real other wand available for this, and I don't even see this wand listed on Dyson's website right now. So if you want to clean up high, now I'm 6'3", and I find this barely within reach, so I can't really get up too high with this to do the dusting. And I push the light switches in the shot so that you guys can see that really they don't give you quite enough reach to get up high. Dusting down low, however, is comfortable and easy. With the V11. One thing that really struck me when I picked this up in the store is this thing's big, it's bulky. I mean, it's big. So if you want to get in something like this, like say you want to clean your dryer vent out, you notice it didn't move any of that in. Well, what you're going to have to do is you will have to have your tools with you at all times. Where previous models, they had a not long enough nozzle that you could just do that. So this, you have to go in there. And I want to give you an idea how bulky this really is. And I think my big commercial style dryer puts in perspective. And I've got a link below I'll put on the review on this. But that really is quite large. And on that note, say you wanted to do the simple task and go under there. You really can't because of how big this bin is. So I really think kind of some of the previous models, particularly the V7 or V8 maybe, might be the way to go. Well, that's a sound you might be hearing more often than you thought if you bought a Dyson V11. In fact, I tested over and over again trying to get that 1 hour battery life, and no matter which one of these settings I put it on or which Dyson I test, because I actually got a second V11 just to be on the safe side, because I just couldn't believe that if on the box here, you know, they talk about 2-year warranty, they talk about an hour runtime, but it's not on the box. It's really not in any of the literature. So I thought that was really interesting that there's no hour runtime in print on the box. But I definitely attempted to get that hour runtime, and I just couldn't get that hour runtime. So I'm going to let you know, and I'll put it on the screen in big letters here, what my results were. And I don't know if it's because of my altitude, I don't know if I just got 2 duds, but I suspect that the hour cleaning time is just kind of false advertising on their part. Complaints about the V11 and the V10 was getting under beds. Now the V11 has added this nice tool holder, which you'll have to remove. Okay, so that's not a big deal. And then you try to go under something, and you just can't. And then, okay, so let's tilt it on its side. Well, now the brush roller has stopped again. So you tilt it on its side, and you can't really push it straight under something very well, because again, this moves around. It'd be nice if there was some sort of lock on that to do this. So if I try to go underneath it, again, it's not an easy task. So if we switch the sides, again, we're trying to do this, and as you push it forward, that happens. So you hope that when you pull it back out that it's straight, but then when you're putting it in, you're going on a slant. So the V11, in terms of getting under stuff, isn't very versatile. One of the biggest complaints I see on a lot of the German vacuum cleaners is the width. And a lot of these companies have come out with extra wide nozzles. But generally, the standard width is about 12 inches to 11 inches of cleaning path. Now this Miele canister here, it's about 10.5, 11 inches. But when we measure the Dyson, in comparison, you're getting under 10 inches, which means you're going to be doing a lot more work. And then if you get the bare floor tool, so that you don't scratch your bare floor, again, you're just going to fall a little bit short to some of the other products in the price range, which means you're going to end up doing a little bit more work, and not just the weight felt in your hand, but in the actual width and how many passes it's going to take to clean the same area. I think one of the good things about having a narrow vacuum is you can really get around things quite easily. But just for comparison, I have just this SIBO head, which gets and does exactly the same thing without any problem, and is a little bit wider. So I'm here, we're going to do a quick pickup test with the Dyson V11, and I have in the background here kind of the standard nozzles you expect to see on any vacuum cleaner, and I want to just explain something real quick. So generally what you do for most vacuums is you have something like this and brushes for bare floor, and either a real high concentrated suction channel for doing carpet, or you have something like this that just does carpet and has a rotating brush but doesn't do bare floor because you can't turn the rotating brush off. And then you have electric nozzles like this where you can turn the brush off but still has a rotating brush, but again it's bare floor friendly. Now the interesting design choice with the Dyson, there's no way of shutting the roller off, and I don't understand this because they could extend battery life with this greatly by doing that. They also, you know, wouldn't have to package it with more than one of these heads, or offer a fluffy head or an extra accessory to buy, a bare floor tool to buy. So what's on the bottom here? Rotating brush, and then they have some gates there. Wheels only in the front, and then you have this, I don't know what this is. It's like a silicone or latex or some sort of very flexible rubber. This should be the bumper in the front, but I don't know how it's going to push without wheels. The other thing I thought was interesting is the gates close and open. So we're actually going to have to test this with these gates closed, and we'll test it with them all the way open just to see how it does. I'm going to do full gates closed. The other thing is, depending on how it does, we are going to test it in the boost mode, because power. I might do a separate, we'll be doing a separate video where we test all the modes, but for this sort of test, we're going to test it in the boost mode because that's what most people are going to use it for. So let's go ahead. I've got my GoPro strapped to this so you'll get to see really in great detail how well this thing works. And if you're not familiar with our pickup test here, I'm going to explain that as well. So we have pet hair, we have flour, we have breakfast cereal, and it's not coming on too well, but there is actually cat litter right there. And I'm not sure if that illuminated it better or not, but there's cat litter right there. And then of course we're going to run the POV camera. We're going to run this side with the gate closed, and then this side with the gate open, and see how it did. Well, I've come into the first problem, which is my soft carpet. So we're going to go ahead and we're just going to open the gate all the way and see if that relieves the suction enough to make this work. Well, right away, really wasn't expecting this. Right away I can't push it at all on my carpet. So never mind what I just said. We're going to have to go to the auto mode and see what happens. And again, I'm not too thrilled with that. So I've got the gate open. We've got auto mode. Let's see if we can get it to clean. That. We've got the gate open. We've got auto mode. So we're going to see what was left behind, if anything. Yeah, we got some cat litter left behind here. And then, I don't see any breakfast cereal. The flour, I don't know, I kind of feel like the flour is in the carpet rather than out. I don't know why I feel that way. No pet hair, so it does clean pet hair. So the pet hair was good. So we had that gate open. I'm going to try it with it closed, and then maybe the half position. We're going to try the half position first and see how that does on the next set of vests right here. So, good news is not too. Some of the hair is wrapped around, but I think they're supposed to be build-up to the hair is supposed to be resisted on this model. Got just a little bit all stuck in the corner there. Let's see how it is on the floor. Yeah. And there's breakfast cereal, and we have cat litter there. I think I did better on the flour pickup, and of course the pet hair was good. So let's try it with the gate all the way open again in auto mode and see how it does on the last bit here. Again, cat litter. Some breakfast cereal right here before that corner. And the pet hair did fine as well. So what this tells us right now is if you have like cat litter, or you have something that's heavily soiled, or an area that's high traffic, this is still not going to be a replacement for your full-size vacuum. And you know, it's quite heavy. One thing in the hand, you just don't feel how heavy this thing is. I've been sitting here holding this only for about a minute or two now. Stuff up here on the wood floor. So what's here, just so you know, is we have dog hair, flour, cat litter, and we have some breakfast cereal there. So you'll get to see all that get picked up. Now I want to just say a quick word about what Dyson has done here for bare floor cleaning. Is there is some sort of sensor that's supposed to slow down the roller, but the brush roller doesn't actually turn itself off. Normally for bare floor, we would use something like this, where there would be no spinning brush and just the suction power of the vacuum would clean it. And this works well. I have no complaints for this. Generally what happens when you have a brush that spins is it can damage the floor and sometimes throw the debris out. So let's zoom in here and see how she does. Oh, and we're going to use this in the highest setting with the gate partially open. Did much better than I expected. Oh, no. It did throw, you can see this right here. It did throw, let me get it to focus here. It did throw some cereal back as expected, because the brush roller again is on. And you can see where it drags some stuff on the floor. So if you live someplace that's real sandy, or you just have a lot going on in your house, this part dragging on the bare floor is definitely going to be an issue. So, like I said, the gates, I had them halfway open. We're going to do the rest of that with the gates all the way open and see how it does now. See if that improves it. I saw it kick some stuff up here. Some cat litter. Yeah, there's some cat litter now out there. So it actually left the gate. Let's go do the rest of it real quick. Now, right away I saw it kick some stuff up here. Some cat litter. Yeah, there's some cat litter now out there. So it actually left the gate. Let's go do the rest of it real quick. Okay, so there's some flour left over as well. So it looks like that this is going to be great for maintenance with pet hair or somewhat bigger objects, but considering I just found flour, that's not something I think I've ever seen before in a pickup test on bare floor. I think they've all picked up the flour. Of course, one of my fans can point that out a little bit better. And there's still a lot of stuff on the back here. So my conclusion, my first impression out of the box, is good for low pile carpet, not for soft carpet, not for shag. And the other thing is that we'll either need to attach a regular bare floor tool or purchase one separately with this. Now, I did purchase this with my own money, and I did spend about $640, I think, with tax. So it wasn't in. Well, the Dyson V11 sure is loud. And that's one thing you notice that when you're vacuuming on bare floors, just how loud it is. Now I've got it on the boost mode. Even on auto, you can't have a conversation with this in the background. And as we found in the pickup tests, you have to have it on boost for it to work. Now in comparison, here is the Miele vacuum. Commonly available machine that runs actually a little less money than the Dyson v11, and you can see it's quieter. So why isn't the v11 quieter than a plug-in vacuum? Now it is quieter than the v10, so they are trying to improve that, but it's too loud. It's just too loud, and it hurts my ears. Something I do find cool for battery saving with the v11 is I've got it on auto. I'm going to demonstrate how it goes between my carpet. And you see that it turned the suction down for that rubber mat. And back up for the carpet. The only problem with that is you want the most suction on bare floor. So it's nice it turns it down for some of the rugs, but again for bare floor you need all that power. Well, I have vacuumed this room, part of my stairs, my kitchen, part of my living room before it filled all the way up with hair and debris. So now I have to go outside and empty it. Well, I think the biggest thing, and I've been talking about this for years, is being a bagless vacuum, you need to go outside to empty it. And it's snowing here in Colorado, which means that's not very fun. So I then have to take this outside and empty it. And then there's always stuff caught where you don't want it. There's still stuff that has to be taken out. I just don't want to have to put my jacket on every time I need to empty my vacuum and disassemble it. So even though I haven't run out of battery life, I've run out of bin space. And the amount of times that I'm going to have to empty this to try to clean a house, or every time I use it having to empty it, is a little dissatisfactory. Dyson v11. I've emptied the bin. And I kind of wanted to show a point, because I've emptied this bin, I think 5 times over the past week and a half of filming, because it's incredibly small. And just so that you understand, you can see that the bin is hollow. So really, it doesn't quite hold very much. Just to kind of give you an idea. And you have to separate it every time you take the bin off. So that's just something to note. So we're going to put this on boost, and we're going to suck up what's about what most people I think would agree is about the same size as that vacuum bag sitting next to it. These are 7. Well, that's all I was able to get in there before it clogged the machine up. Right there. And we saw this with the DC-50. They did this exact same cyclone design. And it's a problematical design with this right angle. So if you have any sort of big debris, something to be aware of, or a lot of animal hair as well, on the v11. And it tells you that it's jammed up. So I thought it would do better than that. I thought I'd at least be able to get it full without doing that. So we're going to take the bag. You guys saw how full the bag was. There's a little bit of debris from a pickup test before we started. And we're just going to put the bag vacuum to the test. Same sort of test. So I vacuumed with our bag vacuum. And here are the results. When we look at that vacuum bag, you can see there's plenty of room in there. In fact, it's not very full at all, which gives you an idea. Really not much in here. Kind of how fast you're going to have to empty your V11. And I chose this vacuum specifically because it has one of the smallest vacuum bags on the market currently. The Sebo Felix also runs the same price, so I felt that that's kind of a fair comparison. And with a modern bag vacuum, you don't lose suction as the bag gets full. So even though we sucked up all that stuff, maybe more than a vacuum should take, it's still got plenty of power. I wanted to give a conclusion now upon the Dyson V11 and my final thoughts on this. Do I think that this is a full-size vacuum replacement? Absolutely not. Do I believe that this is a replacement for a Dyson V10? Absolutely. I think it's better than the V10 in just about every way except for weight. Would I recommend that you get this stick vacuum out of Dyson's lineup? No. I would still recommend the Dyson V7 HEPA or the V8 over this machine. And the bin capacity really is not that different. So I don't recommend it over other Dyson products. Now, I will say the Sebo in the background will cost you the same or less and is easily double the vacuum. So, you know, I've used all the vacuums out there, just about. I've fixed them all. So as a vac tech, can I give this for $699 is the current price of the Animal, or $599 if you get a deal on it? For that price, I can't justify it. I can't say that the price is justified. I can't say it lives up to the hype at all. So I don't recommend you upgrade. In fact, I would recommend other Dyson models. And if this has to be your only vacuum, I'd say look elsewhere. And I do want to give a kind of a thank you to some of the other vacuum YouTubers who I've been talking to about this. Definitely go check out Becco1987, his review on this. Go check out Hooverlux, and definitely go check out Vacuum Wars' review on this. Those guys give other unbiased reviews. Oh, and iBaziak. I should mention iBaziak. Those guys give unbiased reviews too. And all those guys have done this similar test to what I've done. And I'm seeing everybody basically say kind of the same thing with in regards to that. The only thing I think that really differed between my test and I'd say the other non-paid American that I saw was that Chris at Vacuum Wars was able to get more battery life out of his. And I don't know how he did it. I don't know if it's his altitude or I don't know what it is. But he was able to get significantly more battery life. And now I tested two different ones of these and they both had exactly the same results. So I would say that about it. As always, comment below, check out some of my other videos, smash that bell icon so you know when I upload a new video you can see that, and definitely check out some of our other videos.